Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew Doyle, at the start of your scheduled entertainment, here telling you that I'm starting the Lack of Wit question of the week. What that is I'm going to ask you a question at the start of this episode, and the best response will be shown at the end of next week's episode. So, for question one, what is a skill that takes hours and hours to master that you don't find that impressive, and why? For me, it's learning the piano. I feel like people who can play the piano really well just have their head up their own arse just a little bit. I understand it takes skill, a lot of time and practice. I don't really care for it. Anyway, now for the episode. Suck my cock. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Doyle, or Doyle for short. And sure, come here to me. It's episode 2 already. It is episode 2 of the Lack of Wit live show with yours truly. And, you know, I'm happy to be here. I am happy to be here. And I'm happy to be chatting away, chatting shite. All day, every day. I right on time. 6 p.m. GMT. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Can everybody hear me? Everybody see me? Everybody see the crack? I'd realized while I was getting everything set up that I didn't really have any like article or business to be looking at, so I pulled up a satellite image of the River Shannon. This isn't anybody's location. This is just a satellite image of the River Shannon because it will be coming up later. What am I short for? I don't know. Who knows? I'm Andrew Doyle Career for long though. That I do know. But anyway, no. Today's episode, I was there yesterday, I think. Yesterday. I was there contemplating. I was there in the car. No. I was there in the car contemplating, thinking, dreaming, scheming. What should this episode be about? Because I think at some stage last week or during the week, I had an idea in the shower and I forgot it. So I had to come up with a new idea, and I did. So this one is Lack of Wit Live episode 2, what we stand to lose and what we stand to gain. Basically, this will be another stream of consciousness chat, because I was chatting to the senior, to Doyle Senior. Doyle for very long. There yesterday morning, and it dawned on me. We were sitting right here, right there. There's benches. You can't really tell, but there are benches there. And it dawned on me all the information, traditions, abilities, and things that, as time progresses, we will lose, and we won't have access to, and we won't, be able to avail of. And I was there thinking that, so much knowledge and information was going through the passage of time will be lost. But also on that same kind of, same reasoning, that eventually we will gain things through the same principle as well. So I made a little list. As always, I want your opinions, your chats, your comments. Because, we're a team. Lack of Wit's a team, huh? How many times have I said it? Lack of we? Yes. I always say it. I always say we when I talk about Lack of Wit. Because we're in this together. We're in this together. And, yeah, no, I'm rambling. Anyway, no. The first thing that kind of popped in, not the first thing that I've written down, mind, but the first thing that popped into my mind was knowledge. The salmon of knowledge, the salmon of crack. No, we stand to lose a lot of knowledge. And the reason why I have this this satellite image of the River Shannon pulled up is because it was the topic of conversation with my dad that made me realize that, well, shit, all of this and stuff is going to be lost unless somebody writes it down. So we were sitting here, right? And I had my back to him. Or no, he had his back to me. No, we're facing to him. What am I talking about? So I was facing this way. All of these little islands and little jetties and stuff, they all have names, right? They all have names that'll be known locally. I think if like back here, this is like Bushy Island, right? And this is, I've already forgotten. But he was able to look, turn around and point and go, well, that's John Skellig Ballsack's point, and this is, Joe McWankstain's left field, and all this kind of thing. And he was able to like, remember like every little nook and every little cranny of this stretch of the River Shannon. He knew what it was called. He knew how to get there. He knew all of that kind of thing. And it just made me think that like that generation, like gone, like when that generation, eventually dies, because unfortunately nobody is immortal. I've not figured it out yet. All of that local information is gone, because this isn't something that people can Google. This isn't something that people can Google. Like people can like, oh, what's this tip here of the embankment on the River Shannon called? That's not that's local knowledge. And that's an example that came to my mind with stuff like this. But like this is just one tiny spot of the locality that I live in, right? How like Ireland, for scale, Ireland's tiny, right? But I'm sure as shit, every little town, village, estuary, stream, and whatever in the country has something similar, has some kind of local tidbits of information that their dads taught their dads told their dads. That I think we're at the point now where that information isn't coming down the pipeline. Because, I mean, how many people do you know realistically just go out fishing, go out on the boats, go out, in the forests, the fields, the rivers, the streams, the lakes kind of thing? This is because it's not something that's in vogue anymore. It's not something that, geez, what we'll do? We'll go for a spot of fishing. People don't do that anymore. And I'm sure there's lots of reasons. But, it also means that there's so much stuff here that's going to be lost. That was one example. Let me throw out the list. Does anybody can somebody else tell me of something that oh, that's another thing. In the same vein, being able to communicate with other people, I think, for information is an ability that we're going to lose, because we've gotten so convenient, or we've gotten so used to the convenience, and it's a brilliant thing. Like I'm not an erudite, not erudite, Luddite kind of technology has ruined us. Technology has killed us. Technology has corrupted us, because in a lot of ways, it's saved lives, made education easier. This is a bit kind of what I'm saying is, like, when was it like the last time you asked somebody something because you needed to know something, right? When was the last time you went to somebody, I don't know what that is, I have to ask a person, as opposed to, I don't know what the answer to this question is, or I don't know what the answer is I'm looking for, I'll Google it. When was the last time you had to ask somebody for directions? That ability to talk with strangers for something, right? I think that's dust as well. In the next, I don't know, generation. Yes, local news sources, libraries, and last list. When was the last time somebody went to a library? How many years ago was that now, though? Because I cannot remember the last time I personally had to ask for directions. I don't know if I can remember there. But libraries is a huge one. Now, the library in UL is huge, is really cool. But there's a library in Portumna. I think the last time I went to the library in Portumna was... I can't remember. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at the local library here. I cannot... I don't know how they're... The only reason the libraries are still around now is because they're run by the state. Because there's no if a library was a private thing, there's absolutely no way they'd still be here. There's none. I remember there used to be a place, phone lines you could cover tips on how to beat certain video games. Call Larry Bundy Jr. and he'll explain the crack. But like, for me personally, a lot of this boils down to like nature related things. Because I mean, I go out hunting and shooting with my dad and fishing and stuff. And there's all sorts of kind of little things and little bits and pieces that aren't really written anywhere. You can't really Google, but they're kind of things that you need to know. And that if people don't start, you know, keeping a record of these things, they'll be gone. They'll be lost to history and to time. And certainly some things should be lost to time, for sure. But it's these things are important. These things are part of our like traditions and our history and our culture that I don't think we should be in such a rush to get rid of. In relation to that, I miss the times when walkthroughs for games weren't readily available and it was pure trial and error. That's another, just be, God. I do still find that sometimes where, but that's because I'll be looking up information about a Japanese exclusive 3DS game and there'll be no information available. But I don't even know if I ever had to look at a walkthrough for anything. Blokes writing game FAQs guys with big ASCII art formatting at the bosses. But like that's another thing actually. Even closer to home or closer to time, to our time, is going to be getting rid of his forms. People don't need forms anymore. People aren't, and there's so much information in like internet forms just sitting there that like there's not been archived. It's not been, I mean that's the nature of the beast, especially when it comes to the internet. But like, when is I suppose Reddit is the only kind of semblance of old forms we have. How are game FAQs still a thing? Actually, as a matter of fact, that's another thing that must be on the way out. I miss physical games I didn't have to download before I played them. Yeah. I'm at two minds. I mean, like, I do like physical games too because there's a sense of I have it and it's mine and I can hold it. But I have Extravision. Oh, I miss Extravision too. Jesus, yeah. But I remember on the digital download thing, I have Grand Theft Auto 5 on like 7 or 8 discs. So I mean, it's a pure evolution that way. But things like Extravision, like gone, dust. But that's another thing that is terrestrial television is something that we're actually having to find new ways to monetize because people aren't watching TV anymore. What else have I written down here? Yeah, local knowledge. Oh, that's another thing. When my dad was able to, like, if we go shopping, here in that's not where the Muscle Mill is. I don't think. Oh no, it's the wrong. I'm facing the wrong way. If we go shopping here into the local Super Value, as we did there the last day. Actually, we went to Aldi the last day. But let's not get pernickety about it. We go to Super Value. Go to the shop, right? My dad was able to walk in here to the local shop, and like every second and I'm sure it's the same with everybody's fathers and mothers and elderly relatives, that they were able to well jost crack, that kind of thing. Like that's gone now. That whole walking around the street, like the streets where you live and people know who you are is gone. That kind of level of, I wouldn't say companionship, but that level of communication again, but that level of familiarity, that's the word. That's gone. I can't walk around town and have people like recognize me, or I can't walk around town and, you know, have a conversation with people I meet on the streets because they're related somehow, or I went to school with your sister's cousin twice removed kind of thing, and we're able to sit down and chat. Like that's that whole exactly. That whole sense of locality and local community is gone. That next with the next generation passing, our parents' generation, like that's absolutely dust. But and in a very related note, and this one I know for a fact, like is yeah, all of that stuff gone. But something that I know like is a common denominator amongst most townlands in Ireland is the townland itself is dying. If we go back here, look at all the shuttered buildings. Like you can't drive through a town. Yeah, it is. It is terrifying that we've become so kind of isolated. We've isolated ourselves because we don't need to go out and talk with our neighbors or the people in our towns or the people in our locality because it's not necessary anymore because we've gotten made so many advancements in technology and yeah, it's madness. But as I'm chatting here now, the townlands are dying. You cannot drive through any town in this country where 50% of the shop windows aren't shuttered. This is Portumna. Absolutely. They're like all of these small shops, specialty shops are dushed, gone, gonzo. There's no chance. They have no chance. I honestly, I think the reason the butcher in Portumna is alive is you know, again, our generations aren't going to a butcher's, say, to buy meat. We're not going we can get anything that is like particular we can get online, and anything, you know, that we can't some big retail giant like Super Value or Aldi or Lidl has it. Like it's madness. Absolutely. This one here, there's a shop in Portumna called, I'm on the Google Earth version of Street View, so it's a bit gimpy. But this whole thing is shuttered, gone. Classics is gone. Classics was a hardware store, gone. Well, now to be fair, your man retired because he was old, gone. This is Polo Shop, not there anymore. This is our butchers. Our butchers are still here, but like my generation of people aren't going to the butcher, and a lot of the time is geez, some people can't afford to go to the butchers to get meat. But things like butchers and bakeries and, you know, local bookshops, Amazon, well, and more locally, Eason's killed the local bookshop. I only know of one bookshop that isn't Eason's, and that's Charlie Burns in Galway, and that's a brilliant, brilliant location. Love Charlie Burns. Cars parking is how it makes it less attractive to walk on the street. That's true. That is true, but like, sure, where is there to park? Where is there to park? But there are other places that are worse. Where's Bursicane? Or Craughwell? The motorway killed Craughwell. Wholesale. I think Craughwell has, I think, a furniture shop in it. Bancar train. I mean, that's actually, if I can go back to Portumna, hang on. Now that you're talking about banning cars, I've lost Europe. I've gotten completely disorientated. That's China, I think. Where am I gone? That's Australia. Where the fuck? Isn't that Spain? It's here, isn't it? Yeah, we go. Right. I don't know. How do I actually... How do we... I've lost Europe. Colombia's 1942. Oh, my live DOI reaction button isn't working. Or maybe I'm hitting it too fast. Well, Mobile Twitch won't let me chat. Hopped on my computer just to let you know I'm here. Oh, thanks, Bebler. We will be chatting about Bebler game or playing Bebler game in the not so distant future. Where's I don't know how to spin around. I don't know how to swivel. Oh, there we go. Is it this way? Woo! All right. Where is Bursicane and Crockwell? I just want to show you because like Bertumna is control. Control it. There you go. Lovely. Because Bertumna is bad, but there are absolutely towns in Ireland that are worse. There's Bursicane here. Bursicane doesn't have roads apparently. We'll drop the little man in Bursicane. And we'll have a look. When was this taken? This looks nicer. This looks nicer than it should be. I feel like half of these aren't here anymore. This isn't. What year? What where does it say the year? Because I feel like this is. Well, my followers know about the stream. I hope a few of them have joined. I think there is a few, but we're still chatting about business. Maybe Bursicane isn't as bad as I thought. Let's go to fucking. What's really bad? Anyway, Banaslow. Here we can go to Banaslow. Banaslow is a big town in County Galway. It's actually one of the bigger ones. You'd think they'd be they wouldn't be so bad, but oh my god, the amount of like. I know. Hang on. I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, townlands are dying. My dad's convinced. I don't know. I'm in somebody's house. My dad's convinced. Go to Newport, Tipperary. All right. My dad is convinced that within the next few years, everything's gonna be retail parks. I'm not doxing myself. I'm not showing where I live. I've shown the locality. I'm not actually showing my house. Ennis Shannon. Actually, where's Tiff? No, I go back to Bertumna. We work our way back. This is Ireland, by the way, for people who aren't familiar. That's the wrong way. There we go. Bertumna. Tipperary is. If this is the Shannon, we're in County Tipperary. Where did you say it was? Newport. I don't actually know where Newport is. If anybody points out Newport, they get nothing but my love. Down a bit near Limerick. Killaloe, Nina. Newmarket on Fergus. 6 Mile Bridge. When this hits, I thought that said Kitty Shart. When this hits the YouTube, I'll probably cut a lot of this waffle out. Near Limerick-ish. O'Brien's Bridge, Glendarrig, Ballinahinch, Kiloscully. This is on the motorway. Bailey Farm, Balmackie, Toomvara. But like a lot of these villages are gone and dust. Newport at the bottom. Did you see it? Did you? Bottom of where I am now, or bottom left of Laca? Well, I don't know where. Everything looks the same. Lilith. Oh, Laca. Here we go. Newport. Newport, County Tipperary. We'll go through. We'll have a little gawk. Where's the man? Because I used to notice it all the time when I was going to rugby matches. I'm in somebody's house. I used to notice it all the time. Going to rugby matches. That I'm in a housing estate. That please. I've lost it again. That all of the town, all the shops and stuff would be closed. My dad used to tell me about how Bertumna looked back when he was a young'un in the 70s. And we had like, I think 21 pubs or something at one stage. And I think we have like 3. Now, I'm not necessarily advocating for more pubs. Do you live in a town or do you live in a really big housing estate? There we go. I think this is more it. Joe Doyle, 1975, literally. And now all the little shops and the corner shops are gone and they're dust. What did I used to say? I don't know if that's an Irish thing as well, or are places in little towns dust around the world. Because with the invention of the internet and, you know, being online shopping was a brilliant thing. It was a brilliant evolution. But, like, what have we sacrificed for that convenience, you know? Because, like, all of these things are jobs and, you know, how much... That's actually another thing. How much, like, humans are social species. They are. That's facts. But, like, another thing, like, how many, like, skilled artisans are we going to lose because it's no longer viable to have, you know, like, specialist bakers and specialist butchers and other things like that? Are how, like, how much of that are we losing with the evolution of this kind of crack, you know? 2030 skill issue becomes viable. Skill issue, like, now in my, I think we are better for it, or at least my school was. A lot of smaller towns in Maryland are decrepit these days. Most people are going closer to the coast, so it isn't just an Irish thing. But my school made it very clear that doing a trade is a very viable option if you don't want to go to, like, university or something. But that wasn't so much the case, you know, about 20 years back. You're like, oh, everybody has to go to college. Everybody has to do business. Everybody has to, you know, do X, Y, and Z. As opposed to, no, be a carpenter, be a plumber, be something like that. Because those are, again, skilled jobs with your hands that aren't really in vogue anymore. I'm getting caught up on this, but it is relevant to what I was chatting about. So I will probably take out a big chunk of the Google Maps chat when I'm cutting this down. 30 years ago, these boys would have been men of the trade. Ships, pulling shops. Yes, no, they would have been. But anyway, on to... I've been very morose and very, you know, very downtrodden and depressed for the majority of this episode. So what do we stand to gain through the passage of time? What do we stand to, you know... I've gone over what we stand to lose, and that's just some of it. I only thought of this, like, yesterday, so I didn't have a whole... What's this? It's better not be like...
What cost? You know? What cost? But it would cost.
Yes. Essentially, yes. A dildo in Thatcher's dead arse. No. Yeah, I only thought about this yesterday. Because I'm really, really bad at thinking of topics. Because I don't want to be like, the Trump presidency, here's what went wrong kind of shit. Because that's like the lowest common denominator, pond water, suckling content that you can make for a podcast. So I want to kind of think of interesting things. Stem cell research, I think that'll be a huge gain. Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not... This is more... Yeah. I mean, on a more scale to the passage of time, like, obviously advances in medicine, technology, that kind of thing that's obviously, yeah, big future amateurs that take you to shop. I'm actually thinking more interpersonal, social, as opposed to literal. I'm pro immortality. I'm not. I don't think I am. I think we're all perishable beings. But anyway, not what we gathered here to chat about today. The big one in Ireland that will just have more sex. Birth rate's going down. Get in there. Babies, job done. Ireland's going to lose the church. Say it ain't so, but it is. Ireland will probably lose the church quicker than other places, but in the Western world, religion is on the down. And I think personally, as an Irish person, that's a good thing. Specifically in Ireland, that's a good thing. Because the, the church in Ireland had such a grip on the country socially and politically. Like, it was insane. Like, it was the kind of crack that you'd hear about. The kind of crack that you'd hear about the church doing and the church committing. Horrible. And the church abuse, the abuses of the church may be an episode in the future. If I want to go all, yeah, that stuff in Tuam. Fuck me, Pink is absolutely disgusting. But like, I think the last Mother and the last Magdalene Laundry, I think closed in what, like the 80s or 90s. Divorce, I think, was legalized in the 80s or 90s. Contraception was illegal, I think, until the 90s. That's because of the church. All because of the church. For sure. 1995. That's madness. For a seemingly progressive. I think that's probably why Ireland is very progressive. On balance. You know, first country to legalize gay marriage by popular vote. First country to do a lot of cool stuff. But, you know, because we were so restricted by the church. Again, like, for a lot of our... It's hard to talk about the church-specific... Irish church-specific stuff about people who aren't Irish. Because it's basically like a whole hour... Not even hour. Weeks-long seminar about all the nasty shit that the church did in Ireland. Big ones off the top of my mind that are recent now or are being uncovered now is the mother and baby homes in Tuam. We'll have a quick look at this. It's if you don't like chats about dead babies, I would look one out. They're being exhumed now, I think. Do we read the Wikipedia article about the home, or do we read the recent Irish Times article about the exhumation of the babies? Because I think we'll do a little quick Because, like, you know, you had time. Where was the time zone? We had the Pope going around the shop saying that he came to Canada and said that, you know, the school system there committed genocide on First Nations people, which is true. Pope never came to Ireland and said, "Oh yeah, we buried like 500 babies in a septic tank in Tuam." Sorry. Anyway, I'll read this out. We'll do a little dramatic reading. The excavation at the site of the former Tuam mother and baby home will be one of the most complex forensic excavation and recovery efforts ever undertaken anywhere in the world, the Minister for Children has said. Roderick O'Gorman said the excavation would involve a DNA identification process on a scale never done before in Ireland. The minister was speaking as the Dáil debate at the Institutional Burials Bill 2020 on Wednesday, which would provide a legal basis to allow for the excavation of sites such as that of the former County Galway home. Following the work of local historian Catherine Corliss, the Commission of Investigation to Mother and Baby Homes concluded last year that 978 children had died at the Tuam home. It said the physical conditions were dire at the home owned by Galway County Council and run by the Bon Secours sisters. The Commission issued its final report in January of last year. Through the methodology used in compiling it was criticised by some survivors groups. Mr. O'Gorman said the legislation was not site-specific, but that Tuam would be the first such excavation and exhumation. So a home... They buried nearly 1,000 babies in a septic tank outside of this home run by nuns. And that's one thing. That's one thing. Like this, the Tuam mother and baby home could be like 5 or 6 episodes if I wanted to do Lack of Wit true crime. But I don't really want to do Lack of Wit true crime. Yes. Absolutely. And the feckin' Magdalene Laundries could be another 10 episodes. if I had more hours in the day, but I don't. Basically, yeah, Ireland are going to lose the church, and I am not sorry about it. I think people argue that oh, all the missions and stuff, and all it'll be a bigger loss. Fuck that. No, it's not. And now I'm only speaking about the Catholic Church because it's relevant to Ireland, but I'm not under any illusion that organized religion is better anywhere else in the world. I think all organized religion is pretty shit. And I'm talking Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, all of it. I think all of that stuff is pretty poo doo doo. Don't cancel me. That was I think I've spoken about this on Lack of Wit for like 4 or 5 times. But all of that Islam specific stuff in Miss Marvel, from the point of it like trying to make like this historically oppressive religion look fucking niche and cool, was really strange. I don't know, because I've talked about this to death, but can we have less, Asher religion and that kind of class stuff in our, show, mainly geared towards young impressionable kids, because we want less of that, please. Anyway, because I'm not talking about that again. I've spoken about that too many times. I wrote bigotry with a question mark because I'm not sure, because what people consider bigotry is different for everybody, and that's never going to be a universal thing, right? That's never going to be like, oh well, trans people are going to be accepted in like 20 years. I don't think they will. I don't think that's something that's going to like ever change. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, and I could be, and I'm open to admitting that possibility. But I don't think there's going to come a stage where, there aren't people complaining about, trans rights, etc., etc. I think people like it's it's never going to happen. But I think with it's and it sucks. I just don't see it. I think too many people all of the time throughout history. I don't think, but I think there's a plateau though. I think there's definitely a plateau. I don't think, because what I consider bigotry and what the next person considers bigotry aren't the same. So like, I can't say, because it's a very, how do I word this, individualistic thing. Because I can't say that, well, my version of what the loss of what I think bigotry is will come to pass, because it's different for every person, right? There is no universal thing. There's no universal like rights that everybody's going to agree on eventually. Because like, I mean, it'll get better. I do think it'll get better, but I don't think we're going to get rid of it ever. Because I mean, yeah, the Ku Klux Klan probably hit their peak in like 1912 or 20, whatever it was, and they're not in particularly good standing nowadays, but they're still there. There are still chapters of the Ku Klux Klan all around America. Obviously, it's definitely not accepted to, be a member of the Ku Klux Klan, but it is still there. And that's the Ku Klux Klan. That's like the far, far end of the scale. I don't think there's going to be a situation where universally across the globe or across the West that we trans people are savage. I mean, in Hungary, you said that we've gotten progressively more as history's gone on. They're mid now. L plus fell off. You said that we've gotten less big to third history. I don't but we're not taking. It's not a one constant sweeping thing that we're all getting better at. Was it Hungary, I think, are being sued by Europe because their anti-LGBT laws violate their fucking human rights kind of crack. there's like gay exclusion zones in Poland. You can't say that. Oh well, Ireland sound. So, the rest of the globe. Sure, who cares about that? People seem to forget that throughout the world, I'd say that like gay rights are probably a minority. They purely proportional to populations. Places where women and LGBTQ plus people have equal rights are absolutely in the minority, and we don't see it because we're in more progressive, more equal Western kind of countries. Ireland's class, but Egypt not so much, right? Ireland savage, but what's being gay looking like in Kazakhstan? You don't know. I don't know. Being gay in Ireland is savage, but being gay in the majority of Africa, not so much. It's a lot. It's a little bit bigger, and there's a few more people. So I don't know. So I put a question mark because I don't think there's ever going to be a universal constant level of progressiveness. I don't think that's how people work. I don't think that's the natural progression of societal consciousness, is that there's just one straight line and we're aiming towards it. So what else have I written down? Tolerance. That's the same thing. That is closing in on 50 minutes. I know I rambled there for about 10 in the middle, so I'll probably cut that out. But that is basically all I wanted to say for this episode. But stay tuned because I'll do the outro here. I have been Andrew Doyle Echeverria. Or no, I've been Andrew Doyle Echeverria, or Doyle for short. I appreciate everybody chatting in, putting in your thoughts. I wouldn't do it without the backing of the loyal lack of wit followers. Makes it much easier to do. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. The outro music, the new outro music, done by Lucy AC, will play now.